Okay, I'm going to start a new series where I'm going to grow vegetables and fruits in my yard. And my first part of this series is going to be watering that group. I'm going to start off with this Gilmour watering timer with the pressure regulator I have on there from RainBird. And I'm going to start showing you how the Gilmour is set up, the output with the regulator, and then we'll move on in other videos to the actual potting and the actual setting up the watering, like a drip method to water my garden. Because one thing you don't do very well is you might start a garden but you stop watering it, and the only way I'm going to do it right is if I have some kind of timer like this. So you'll go through the same process as me, where you figure out what you need, and I'm going to hopefully help some people with what they need to do. Okay, one of the first things I'm going to do when I'm building my irrigation system for my potted plants is I'm going to use this Gilmour programmable timer to hook up to my hose. It has two outputs, so I'll have more ways to water. You'll have two branches, so you'll have double the capacity. And I also picked up that water regulator for the hose bib. It supposedly brings the water pressure down to 25 psi. I got that from, I think, Home Depot. They relatively pretty cheap for the regulator. Runs about $5. I got the timer from Walmart, and I think it was like $38. I'll probably be doing a review on that over 3 months. Anyway, I'm going to hook up the water regulator to my hose and see what the output looks like with that. So this is the output of the hose. It's a 100-foot hose, and that's without the regulator. I'll stick the regulator on there and see what we get. By the way, I have this hose, and I got it from either Costco or Sam's, and it's the most awful hose you can buy. I'll probably do a review on that. It's supposed to be kink free, and it kinks like crazy. Anyway, that's the output I got right now. Okay, with the pressure regulator on, that's what I'm getting. Looks like I can get a better stream. I can't tell if it's dropped the PSI down to 25 PSI. The reason why I'm on 25 PSI is because I might be using a drip irrigation system, and I can't really use very high PSI on that. I'm either going to use drip irrigation, or I'm going to just put PVC pipe together and make my own irrigation system for the potted plants I'm going to be using. That looks pretty strong as far as the pressure to me. I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to open this Gilmour timer up, and it has a 2-year warranty, which I don't know if that's feasible or not with some of this stuff. It's got two outputs. And the funny thing is you could use two outputs at the same time, which I didn't know was possible. I thought maybe I'll have one on and then one off, one on, one off. These are the specs on the back. I'll just show you the specs. I won't read them out. It does have a battery. I have to see if I have to get a battery for it. And I'll plug it into this pressure regulator and see what kind of output we get out of this thing. Alright, so here's the Gilmour hose timer. And this must be the battery compartment back here. Uses AA batteries, and it goes in like that, I guess. I don't think you can put it in upside down, but there's a possibility. It came in like that. It's got a metal top. It's not plastic up there anyway. I'm a little worried about this joint right here. A lot of things leak in this joint. And they give you this really small book, instructions. Basically, it's 2 small pages of instructions. It's kind of funny. But I'll turn it on and show you the output. I'll put some batteries in there. And this is just a little review of the Gilmour hose bib timer. Be right back. First thing I'm going to do is program the Gilmour timer. Basically, I put the batteries in it. They were double A's. Rotate the knob to clock, set clock. Press the plus or minus button to advance or reverse the clock. Let me see what time it is for sure. 9:31. So it's set to 9:31. Now they have a start time, a how long time. That would be the start time, how long time, how often, and a run time. I don't like that I hear the valves opening and closing already. I don't get that. I'm going to say start time of, you hear that clicking, clicking, clicking? That don't make any sense. I'm going to say a start time of 7 a.m. I'm going to set the left to 8 a.m. So there's one at 8. And then the other one's at 7. They don't give you a left, it just makes it a blank, which is kind of weird. And this thing keeps turning on and off. It's going to drive me nuts. Alright, for how long? We're on the left one right now. How long would be, let's say, 5 minutes. I'm going to go to the right one and make that 5 minutes. Okay. How often? Alright, so we go to how often. Every 7 days. Every 1 day, I'm going to say, because it's easier. That's for the right. For the left, every 1 day. And then you just set it to run. But I keep hearing that valve opening and closing. It's not making any sense. There's a troubleshoot guide. We'll look at that too. There's a set rain delay, watering delay, manual watering. This is manual watering. Attach timer to outdoor hose faucet and turn faucet on after programming. Not for use on outlet end of Y connectors or other hose accessories. So they want this directly on the actual faucet itself, which I wasn't going to do. I was definitely going to put that regulator up here on the top. I have a regulator that regulates it to 25 psi. Has a 2-year warranty. Alright, so let's just see. I'm going to plug this in and I'm going to turn it on manually down here. And I'm going to see how much pressure comes out of this thing. So here's the Gilmour sprinkler timer with the regulator on the output of one of the spigots. And I'm going to see how much change it is with the regulator on and without the regulator on. So the first thing I'm going to do is turn on the water about a quarter of the way, put it on run, and then push the start button. The left one is indicated here, and I got, well, if you wait too long it turns off like that. So do it again, give it like a time and just wait. So there's the output with the regulator on there. That don't look very strong at a quarter. Let me try it at a little bit higher on the valve. Alright, changing the valve didn't seem to affect the output, which is pretty cool. That regulator is doing something. So let me do it without the regulator and see what happens. But changing this didn't seem to change the output at all. So that regulator is working. Okay, now you can see I moved the hose over to the unregulated valve. I gotta push this. Oops. Then I gotta give it some time. And now it should start up. Okay. There's your output. I'm gonna increase the valve. Doesn't seem to have changed the output of the hose by increasing the valve. I don't know what is regulating it right now. Maybe the valve's in there. It looks a little stronger. Wait, there goes something. This is not a scientific test, I'm telling you that right now. Just turn the valve to quarter. It did adjust the output slightly. So the regulator is doing something. Now I'm going to try to put that regulator on the top. I really don't want to. I don't like taking it on an awful lot with that plastic fitting, but I'll do it for the video. I'm going to put this regulator up here so both valves are regulated. Okay, so you can see I put the pressure regulator on the actual tap itself going into the device. So I'm going to turn on the water and see what happens. I'm assuming it's going to act the same way. They say not to put anything in behind this valve, but I'm going to try it anyway. I'm going to turn it off, turn it on, press the faucet, and it's on the right already. Okay, so there it is. I got to turn the water on. I keep forgetting to turn that water on. I don't think it's really regulating. That looks like a really strong stream. I just increased it and it looks like it increased the water pressure. So that pressure regulator isn't really regulating the water at the tap. Wait, I just lowered it. Let me see if I can do this with my one hand. Yeah, kind of weird. I don't think that regulator is working directly from the tap. So it looks like I'm going to have to put it on the output of this device. Okay, so there's the Gilmour on my faucet. I also have a RainBird 25 psi pressure regulator hooked up to the output of it, going through a 100-foot hose to over here. And I'm just going to show you how I operate the device. I have it set for time, but I just want to operate it manually. So you press that, you give it 3 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever it's going to be, and then it'll turn on after a couple seconds. There, now it should turn on. If I had the water on, it would help. So there you go, there it's turning on. The pressure relief valve hopefully is dropping that to like 25 psi so that I could put it on a drip system. Now you turn it off. And then if you want it on the right side, you basically hit the faucet, you select right, see right, and then you could do your 30 seconds or 30 minutes, whatever it is. And then you just hit the faucet again and it comes out. So you have the ability to control both outputs on this device. Supposedly you can set it so both go on at the same time. Yeah, let me do the left again. I'm going to do this. I'm going to give it 30 minutes and I'm going to hit the faucet. And there it goes. Look at that output. Isn't that great? Anyway, there it goes. There was air in the line apparently. But that worked. I don't know how you get both of them to work at the same time. There's no instructions for that. And I messed around with it a lot. I'm going to turn it off and then we'll try both of them. I'll turn it off. Put it in run. Hit the faucet. It says left. I want to see if I could switch it to right and left. Okay. Then it's not letting me select both, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't. So I'm going to just use it left or right depending on what I want. And there you go. Now I might replace that pressure regulator, the RainBird one I got from Home Depot, with a metal one, because I really don't like plastic. But it seems not to leak right now. So far so good, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a couple of pots here. They're fabric pots. And I'm going to try to grow some potatoes. I don't really want to use this ground. There's a lot of weeds and it's a real pain to kill these weeds. They keep coming back. So I'm going to use these pots. I'll probably put some fabric down before I put the pots down themselves, and I'll show you that in another video.